Hey guys, Megatrue here, back with another video that I'm recording right after the Beaumont one to upload later. But that's beside the point. This time I wanted to talk about my character Dustin Adler, because I recently made him and I really like him. I like him, okay, so that's why I'm talking. Oh, sorry for the terrible pictures, actually on my phone as of now, so yeah, you can see my reflection. This is my phone. That's why I haven't actually drawn him traditionally, so all we have is this picture of on my phone. So Dustin Adler, his concept is, I wasn't what I thought I was, but that doesn't mean I'll change. He's one of my characters based around the idea of transformation, physically or mentally. For him it's definitely physically, and how that will affect him. Because I actually have an idea to make a cartoon about him, where, like this cartoon anime, I guess, I don't know, I'll call my style inspired by anime, but with just enough tiny tweaks, not exactly the anime. So a cartoon about him, and this race called the Conturi, which are an alien race that I made up, which are going to invade the world, basically. So I wasn't what I thought I was, but that doesn't mean I'll change. I'll explain that when we get to his species, which is not that far. So his name's Dustin Adler. Dustin means like a brave or valiant fighter, which is why I chose the name. He's supposed to be this fighter helping people. And Adler, I just like the last name. It goes well with Dustin. It just means eagle. He's 21, he's gonna live like around to 80. He's a Virgo and his birthday is August 24th, he's a male. I try to make all of my characters at least bisexual, because it leaves them with more options. For example, I want to put a lot of my characters into their own stories. And bisexual means that you can put the characters together based on their personality alone, instead of, oh, this is the girl, and this is the only girl there is, so he's probably going to get with a girl, instead of these characters have the best matching personality, so their gender doesn't matter, their personalities matches the best. So that's why they should love each other and things like that. His nationality is English, but his ethnicity is half German, half English, and his species is half human, half Conturi, which is the alien race. So the idea of transformation is that I have this idea for the Conturi race where they learn about him and how he's half Conturi, and since like you can hardly see any features of the Conturi in him, one of the scientists of the Conturi race starts thinking, is it possible to activate these recessive genes in Dustin to turn him into a Conturi? Because he's been up in our backside in this specific area when we try to invade the Earth, which is stopping us from invading the Earth, with his little group of friends helping him. So if we can make him look completely like us, it could potentially cause this mismatch, this disarray in his group, thus pulling them apart and allowing us to take over the Earth much more effectively. What I mean by that is, on the Conturi take over planets in this very specific way. They target specific areas on a planet, which they invade first, because that will give them the most reach to take over the rest of the planet. And Dustin lives in this very important area, like the most important target zone. And what he does, he collects people, he helps people, and he has this group of friends, and they all fight. Everybody there fights. But they notice that he's specifically been taking slaves that he's spotted being taken, or just happened to be there for whatever reason. He's been taking them back to help them. They decided, we need to do something about this group specifically, because this group is messing things up. So the method is, I haven't actually done the cartoon yet, or like an animatic of it, but I want to do an animatic of it. But I have this one scene in mind that I really, 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 really want to get to no matter what. And this scene is where Dustin gets a box of cookies, supposedly from his mother, but they're not actually they weren't made by his mother. They were made by his father, who's a Kunturi, and he sent them to his mother, and said, "Send these to your son, and say they're from you." And since they had a kid together, she's like, "I trust you, I'ma do that." And when he offers the cookie to his teammates, and this cookie has a special thing where it will activate the recessive genes in him to make him a Kunturi. But so all of his teammates have a cookie, and I can't believe it's a cookie. Why did I do that? But all of his teammates have a cookie, and they're completely fine. But when he eats the cookie, he develops this blue rash. He starts to develop this pale blue rash because Kunturi, they have very, very pale blue skin and fur. I'll show you a picture of a Kunturi in a second. So Kunturi has this pale blue fur and skin, which all of them have. So he starts to develop this pale blue rash, and that rash keeps getting worse until eventually he goes to a doctor that he knows in the area. And I have this scene where in my mind I really want to do, where he's getting off this bed that I was lying down on with the doctor, rubbing one of the blue rashes on his arm, and he's saying, "We tell no one. We tell no one that I'm becoming one of them," because the doctor's always recognize, "Oh, hey, look, you half Kunturi, you becoming one of them." And Dustin goes, "We tell no one." And since humans are actually petrified of Kunturi, the doctor agrees on this thing that he thinks that Dustin's personality is going to change just because he becomes Kunturi, which Mickey doesn't. And then it's not too long after that he's completely changed, and he is now hiding in the blankets in his room. And when somebody is about to enter, he shouts at them to not enter. But they do anyway, so what he does, he just hides under the blankets. And they tell her, come get food, and he's like, "Alright, but after I get changed." So the person leaves, he gets changed, but what he does, he goes out with the cover covering him. So he's wearing these clothes which cover him well anyway, but he still has the blankets covering him up, so you can't see his hands or his face or his neck. So the people just think he's normal. So he takes a sword with him as well, in case the blankets pull off him, and he doesn't want his friends to hurt him. But obviously the blanket gets taken off him, and they see him looking like this, as a Kunturi. And he points the sword at his friend, and he goes, "Back off," because he doesn't want to get hurt. And his friend is just staring at him in utter disbelief, because Kunturi also can do the thing where they can disguise themselves as humans for temporary amount of time, so they can sneak in. And that's how they get slaves. So instantly they're just staring at him, and their first reaction is, "You are a Kunturi. You were using one of the humans' disguises, and you were Kunturi this entire time. You pretended to be our friend." They don't say anything. They don't know what to say. And they just have Dustin pointing a sword at them, going, "Back off." So that doesn't actually help his case there. So one of the people in the group, I can't remember when it's in because I do know, but one of the people in the group want to approach Dustin and say, "Is this Dustin, what's going on?" That's what he wants to do. He wants to go, "Dustin, I trust you. I've always trusted you. You've been so good to us. I don't think a Kunturi would go this far just to fake everything and actually stop the Kunturi invading, so I want you to tell us what's going on." But he doesn't. He just stays silent and stares with everybody else. And eventually Dustin backs to the exit of the shelter they're in, and he leaves. And later that same person who wanted to ask eventually finds Dustin, and he goes, "Dustin, what's going on? I trust you." And then it explains, and then everything goes back to normal, sort of, not completely, because obviously people are still going to be distrusting of him because of this change within him. This change turning him into their mortal enemy. And they still don't. The only person that believes this story is the one that asks, "Hey, I know you're a good person, what's going on?" That's the only person who believes the story about the cookies. But since the cookies obviously didn't affect nobody else, and Dustin didn't know it was how contrary to the doctor told him, and then the cookies specifically target recessive genes and not just making people contrary, the other people on the team obviously don't trust him as much anymore. So Contrary has human disguises and he wore one for a really long time. I think this is a ploy to get on our side, so that it's easier to invade, even if it doesn't seem like it's easier for Contrary on the long run. So as Contrary race expected, it causes disarray and it's making it easier for them to take over. Oh, and I forgot to mention, I have Beyond on Sem, which is a French song in the background on the piano, if you can hear that. So I'll also link that description anyway, so that's pretty much this plan I have. I had this big choice at some point, making a video about it, probably making it less stress, but at some point this big choice where it revealed that he's not only a Contrary, but also related to the royalty of the Contrary. Anyway, let's keep it going. I'm just gonna scroll past. Oh yeah, he's 5'11". That's fine. So he normally wears a cold expression on his face, seeming grumpy or disinterested in what's going on. But really, he does care about people a lot, and he would always do as much as he could to protect them. And his stubbornness often leads to not backing him down with what he wants to do. So if he's going to protect someone, he will protect someone no matter what's going on. But he's also a slight jokester. He likes to joke about, despite his cold personality. But he does it in this way, where it's in a rude or blunt way. So it doesn't seem like he's joking when he really is. It can be a bit awkward. And he has this quirk where if he has an itch, he will scratch it with his foot instead of his hand. Contrary are all contortionists, and since they're this animal-like race, they have behaviours they'll scratch with their foot, and what Dustin does, he scratches with his foot. And there's the habit of fighting low to the ground, which in this really awesome dance fight martial arts style, where I'll link some videos in the description below, of capoeira, I think that's how you say it, this capoeira style, which actually looks awesome. But this capoeira style is signature of Contrary's, but she doesn't realise he's just always done it naturally. And he's actually this very smart person, but he likes to pressure enough other people to distract from that. So he actually acts more with emotion, but he does try his best to act logically. Also, his voice claim is Nazi drag. No, shut up. He will normally speak in a bored or grumpy or cold tone, being, that type of thing. And he has a tendency to insult people when he's saying a statement that shows care, just to counter that, so he doesn't seem weak or a softie. Speaks in this casual way. He likes jokes. He likes warm clothes. He actually really likes to sleep and be lazy. He likes cookies. He likes helping others. I just love the fact of he obviously doesn't like the Contrary. He hates it when his sleep is interactive. He hates bland people being touched without permission, and projectiles. He actually has a fear of projectiles, projectile weapons, things like that. And it's actually a trait of Contrary to never use a projectile weapon unless it's attached to an aircraft. His favorite colour blue. He likes wolves. He likes shelter. He likes night. Let's just scroll through this. Let's scroll to his friends. Oh yes, this was the one I did. I made his mother Rita as well. So I'm gonna change that to Tina. Yeah. His mother is Tina Adler, he's alive. And his father is Dana Cross, which is this very royal person for the Contrary. But his status is unknown because obviously we know. So his group of friends consist of Duncan Patterson, Isaac Wood, Leela Morris, and Jen Watson. So Isaac, Leela, and Jen are three people that were just in the target zone who he helped and asked them, "Hey, can you help me? If you help me, I'll provide you shelter." And they're like, "Yeah, sure." And then Duncan is a Kunturi rescuee, so he has the reason to trust the Kunturi the least, be annoyed at them the most. He gets rescued later on, so it starts with Dustin, Isaac, Leela, Jen. Then later on, I have this plan for Duncan to come along. And the one that's when Dustin changes to a Kunturi, Isaac's the one that goes to him and is like, "I trust you, Dustin. What's going on?" So that's Isaac Wood, him. He's actually very fast, because a theme of the Kunturi race is that they're fast, they're agile. They might not be the strongest, but they have numbers which are hard to overpower. And their fighting style and their speed, like their agility, makes it hard to stop them from conquering the planet. And another thing of Kunturi is that they can see in the dark and they have really good eyesight, which Dustin also has. And they're also very technologically advanced, and what Dustin wants to do, he wants to be a technician, do stuff with technology, which he's good at. So he actually has a lot more in common with the Kunturi race than he'd like to admit. But he does have this very good ability at finding hiding places so he's not found, and he's always had this inherent good nature, which he always wanted to protect people. But there's this problem with the way he fights, since it's so low to the ground and often involved like doing handstands and all these complex moves. If he's put off balance, he's going to fall over, and it takes him a second to sort himself out. And he panics around. He actually does panic around like guns and things because he doesn't like them. And he's very lazy the way he drinks his brew, so people are obviously not going to be fond of that. His skills are he has an intelligence of 8 out of 10, a charisma of 2 out of 10, a strength of 5 out of 10, a speed of 8 out of 10, and a laziness of 9 out of 10. So let's try to... Strength is average, it's just half. Charisma is low, intelligence is high, speed is high, but his laziness is also high, so... in the book, I have this section of an other, and I'll put something close to the character, so that might be a good trait or a bad trait. For example, cooking skill. It will always be a high number though for that other section. So cooking skill for Finian will probably be a 9. My character Finian, but laziness is like a bad trait for him. That's a 9 out of 10. Oh look, we're on the kinky stuff again. We'll skip past that. Though his backstory is he grew up with his mother and he didn't have siblings or knew his father. His life was normal until the Kunturi invasion started properly. So what the Kunturi do, they send out scouts to see, oh, this is a good planet to invade, and then they'll pick out target zones. That's how they know which areas to target, because of those scouts. And then they invade. And that's how Dustin was born, because his father did it with a woman, normal woman. And his life was normal to the Kunturi invasion, and that made something spark in Dustin, making him want to help people and fight back. So he moved close to one of the Kunturi target zones, so I had this house near the edge of it, this shelter. That's pretty safe because it's like near the edge, so it's very close, but not exactly that area. And he tries to reclaim human slaves if they're there, here and when he can, and help them recover from their experience. And I have this sword here, and that sword is actually of Kunturi design. He has this neat as hell fancy handwriting, and his quotes. I have a shelter I set up. Something the Kunturi on the spot. Want to come? My mum sent some cookies. Want some? And just, hey, back off. Don't touch me. That's when the quote's taken off, and he points the sword at them. He's like, hey, back off, don't touch me. And that's Dustin. I like him. He's my most recent character, but I really like him. I want a hug from him. I'm not a furry, it's just aliens. I'll actually get a picture of the aliens up, maybe, if I just go to my works and WhatsApp, because that's up now. Then I'll show you on my computer. Beyoncé on some food. Beyoncé on some food. Beyoncé, esse tu. Beyoncé. Oh, that was the chorus, not the. That wasn't the chorus. My bad. Beyoncé, I'm some food. I don't know the lyrics that well. Beyoncé, esse tu. Naturally, Beyoncé, I'm some food. Encore on oui. Encore on oui. Oh yeah, I'm moving this over. So this is the reference photo that I made for the contouri. So those are males. Males have tails and females have wings instead. And they're very floof. And I'll link this in the description so you can read it. So this is their fighting style, capoeira. They fight very low to the ground with lots of kicks. And they have these clothes that are made similar to graphene that help them blend into night. And this is just the information. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Remember, always make love to that subscribe button, put on that sticky vanilla so you make love to it correctly. Make sure your hand grabs that like button and presses it so hard. Click the notification bell please, because I like my channel. Oh, what am I saying? It's just a terrible channel, just a mess. And well, so leave a comment. Please do. Tell me how terrible this light in the corner is and how shaky I am right now. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. This is Mega Trio from the Hub, signing out. Signing out.